Hello, everyone, and welcome to our final tribal council. Oh, Ashley, you here? Is she? Yeah. Okay, cool. She's okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our final tribal council for Survivor Dear Hansen Ghost Island. We have Jester, Peter, and Ashley as our final three. They have pre-recorded and sent in their opening statements, as y'all know we usually do here. So with that, we are going to go right into our jury. So, Alex, come and show your beautiful face, love.
Hello.
Hey, Alex.
Okay, so I want to say congratulations to all of you for making it to the end, for doing what the rest of us could not. But I do have a couple of things that I really need to get off of my chest, and in terms of questions. And they're all directed at Jester. And Jester, I would like to see your face on here, please, and because I have some questions for you.
He's on camera.
He's on camera.
You might have to swipe to the left on your phone.
Okay, all right. My first question for you is, why did you say at the beginning of your statement that I was the one that was running everything when I was trying to follow your lead and everybody else's lead within our alliance?
On
Why did
my
you say that?
on my perspective, I don't want to be treated as a threat individual, and I saw you as one of the biggest kind of like leading the role in in our tribe, in our OG tribe. So when I align with you, I know that you probably would run the vehicle first and put yourself in a threatening position. That's why, in my perspective, I think you were the one leading the vehicle from the start. And I just have to follow you from that because I don't want to be a threat as much as possible in the beginning of the game.
Okay, my next question for you is, why did you put my name out there that I was putting you up for elimination when I specifically told you that I was not going to write your name down? Yes, I wrote your name down when I got eliminated, but I did that literally 5 seconds before tribal council. I was actually going to be voting for somebody else. Why did you put me up there like that when I was not even thinking about putting you up at that time?
On the first vote, when we're voting Eric out, you would do so much, a lot. It was so messy. That's why I have to put your name out there. But I didn't vote that way. We still voted Eric and Megs at that time. And then on your vote out, Cyrus told me that you were flipping on me. And that
Um,
moment
um,
I
um,
voted
um,
for
um,
you and
okay.
tried to push your name out there.
Okay,
That's
well, I just want to set the record straight that I was not flipping on you at that time. I did bring up your name, yes, but that was only when it was going to become to the final five, when our alliance was the only thing left standing. That was when I was going to start saying, okay, here's where all games are off, because I wanted all of us to stay until the end. I wanted all five of us to make it to the end, and I was not going to write anybody's name down until that point. But I just want to get that point perfectly clear with that. And
okay.
and now two more things actually. One, why did you make that hand gesture when I said that I was heartbroken and betrayed when I got eliminated? You went like this, like the smallest violin playing a symphony tune just for you. That's what it looked like. Why did you do that?
I'm just happy that you got voted out because I know you're flipping that time to me, and you did vote my name out there. So I did that because first I didn't use my idol because I don't need to use idol that time. That's why I did say my idol in the right way. So that's why I did that.
Okay, and what about all of the apparently the taunting and that you did debris afterwards, saying, "Oh, you voted on the wrong side," all of that stuff? Why did you do that?
I'm just that person. Like, I'm a straightforward, you come for me, I'll do the sassy as much as possible. You know that in this game I'm a sassy player. That's what I did. That.
Okay, all right. I can respect that. It just seemed like it was a little hitting below the belt at that point. Okay, and did you ever intend to take me to the end?
No.
Okay. All right. Actually, I have a couple of questions for you, ma'am.
Oh, I'm on mute. Sorry.
Yeah, not a
I was like,
problem.
what's up? Let's hear them.
First off, congratulations again for making it to the end.
Thank you.
When you had played your Hidden Immunity Idol when I was eliminated, did you know that I was gunning for you, or was that just like the general perspective? Because I wasn't gunning for you. I was just trying to figure out where everybody else was voting at that time.
So that night was weird. Like everything about it was weird. Like usually like I get like good vibes and like I can kind of like figure things out. That night was one that was not like that. I hate that I misused my idol. Thanks for bringing it up right off the bat. Let's just get it over with. But no, I had heard, I think it was Peter that told me that you were coming for me. And I'm like, whoa, why? Like, we hadn't even had a conversation at this point. I had not heard your name at all at that point either. So when they started saying Alex, I'm like, okay, let's do it then, because if he's trying to get me out, um, obviously I wasted my idol, but it is what it is.
Okay, yeah. I don't blame you for playing your idol. If you thought you heard your name
Oh,
being
that was,
called out there, yeah, I
sorry to
don't blame you
interrupt.
at
That
all.
was the night that Peter came to me and said, would you be good? Like, how do you feel about handing me your advantages? And I'm like, so when he said that, and then on top of hearing my name, I was like, I'd rather be safe than sorry.
Yeah, because I did not bring up your name. I was actually asking for other people, and then your name came up as a common denominator with quite a few people, including Peter. So, I had no intention of really voting for you at that time. I was still up in the air because we really had not had a chance to really talk or
Mhm.
anything, and I'm sorry about that. Work schedules, things were just so out of whack.
Yeah, hopefully next time we can play together.
Yeah. But I had no intention of actually voting for you. In fact, I put somebody else's name down initially before I switched it to Jester. So I had no intention of voting for you at all with that. But I think you actually played a really good game tonight, and I really liked your statement. I really
Thank
liked your
you.
statement with
Thank you.
that, and I really love that cup that you were using for several days. That was
I
very
can't
funny.
find it anywhere. I think he threw it away.
Ah, rats.
I know, I was gonna go get a new one today. I didn't have time, so.
Okay, well, I was going to ask a question to Pete, but since he
You can. I'll allow it. Go ahead. You're good, but just make it quick.
Pete, my question for him was going to be, why did he do me like that? Why did he start putting my name out there when I was just trying to get a consensus of where everybody was going?
So, at the final 10 vote, you had come to me and asked if I would write Eric down, and I said I didn't think you had the votes at that time. At that time, I felt good about 6 of the 10 people left in the game. The only ones I didn't feel great about were you, Travis, and Brady. Everyone else, I kind of felt like I knew where the votes were at. After that vote, you didn't talk to me at all. We didn't talk it out, which I will own up to. I didn't come to you, but you didn't come to me. What I heard from Jester is, hey, Alex is really mad the vote didn't go his way. So in my brain, it was easy to say, okay, if I'm getting from Jester that Alex is really mad, Alex should go next, because we don't want Alex being mad to flip the game on us.
Okay, that's interesting. I'm sorry that I didn't communicate with you. My like I said, my work schedule had just gotten so out of whack at that point. I was literally working for other people's shifts. So me not getting in contact with you was a work issue. And again, I apologize for not getting in contact with you, but it had nothing to do with me being angry. In fact, I didn't even know where the votes were really going. I was literally following everybody's lead at that point, which is why I was generally asking, hey, where are you voting? Where are you leaning? Because I was trying to get ideas on where everybody was, So that way I could like, okay, I'm gonna vote with this way or this way. I really had no idea where I was going to be voting. In fact, that he said that the vote didn't go my way. I never really controlled any of the votes, period. So the fact he's considered me that much of a dangerous player is news to me. It really is a shock to me. But I really do appreciate you coming telling me that, and I think you played a really good game too, and congratulations for making it to the end. And I'm sorry that I did not communicate with you. It was just lack of work, not because I was salty or anything like that.
Thank you. And if we ever get to play again, then we'll make sure to talk to you too.
Yeah, perfect, awesome. Because I really enjoyed talking with you because we definitely had the connection with the restaurant stuff. So I definitely like that connection. I really did.
All right, hello, I'm here.
And I'm done.
Yeah, we love you, Alex, but we have a night to get along with. So I will say Eric had something come up. He didn't submit questions or anything, but if he gets them in later, he had something he had to deal with. But I will read them comes on early. So that brings us to the next person, the lovely, the wonderful, the lifesaver of the season. Cyrus, come show your beautiful face.
Okay, give me a quick second. Hold up. Ugh. Okay, sorry. Just had to close my door. So, I'll start with you, Ashley, since I'm seeing you on my screen. I listened to your speech, and I'm now kind of understanding how I think you were just completely under the radar, and I don't think that.
I had no idea.
And I think that like you weren't given enough credit where credit is given. So I want you to list like at least 3 moves that you did on your own that maybe like some people just haven't seen. Like what made you stand out between Jester and Peter?
For one, I kicked ass in the very first challenge we did. The scavenger hunt. I feel like I had more alliances and social standings going than most people realized. Different groups of people. I obviously named the Beast group chat, so I had the extra vote because of something, that I won and I won on my own. And then we're tied for immunities. I feel like one thing that makes me stand out is the fact that I didn't backstab, deceive, or straight up lie to you guys to get to where I'm at. Cyrus, the night you went out, I was shocked, and that sucked so freaking bad. Like I still feel it for you because you didn't even know if you wanted to do it. You got the shit into the stick there, and I had no idea it was coming on everything. I had no idea.
Okay, well, I appreciate that. But since you're on the topic of like backstab, Jester, honestly, I got no words. I'm literally just rendered speechless about how my vote led to the downfall. You giving Peter the idol, and you literally gave Peter the idol, which literally just like took me out.
After he lied to us.
No, I was talking to Jester, not you.
No, I know. Jester lied to us that day. Straight up, he's like.
All right, but hold up, Ashley. Hold up.
I'll put on mute.
That was stupid, Jester. And in the same breath, you claimed how I was your number one, and then within your speech, you said how Peter was your closest ally, and then yet you gave Peter, and you've shown that when you gave Peter your ally to take me out. That's absolutely stupid. In what planet, on what universe does that amplify that I was your number one when you had an indirect hand on taking me out just so you get no blood on your hands? In what world? In what universe, Jester?
Iris, listen to me. I didn't plan. I didn't know that your name is going out there. I didn't know at all. And after you voted, I even screamed at Peter. What? And I thought Peter voted for you. And I was like, why did you vote for Cyrus? And I tell Peter that at that day too, I was like, I saved your ass, man, and you took out Cyrus for me. Cyrus is our number. I was mad at Peter that I thought he was voting for you at that time. So I didn't know that your name was out there. I just want to say Peter because he's one of my
Can I
closest.
say something?
And then I did tell you that I'm like, maybe Peter could be our number. I did tell you that, Cyrus, that day. But I didn't know that Bree or Travis is voting for you. That's
Okay,
why.
but can I just say, you was the one that I got. Actually, I'll get to you in a sec. You was the one that has said that Peter has been throwing my name out. And so that made me not so much trust Peter as much. So I was very skeptical about him. And I read that in your speech, Peter. So you're right about me not being sure. But Ashley, I want to hear what you got to say as your rebuttal.
I think Jester straight up lying because we all had a conversation today where he said he knew it was either you or Cyrus or you or Peter, and he picked Peter. That was straight up today, Jester. I mean, say what you want to him, but that's what you said.
I didn't say that to you.
You
I
did.
said
And
Peter,
in my,
Peter
I,
can vouch. But Peter can vouch for me. I was
oh,
screaming
go
at
ahead,
Peter.
yell for each other. We got it.
Right now, yeah, I just want to hear from Peter if anything like occurs of like what's being said right now.
Cyrus, I think the funny part for me here is I did call you that day and I said, hey, look, I want a final four of Jester, me, you, and Ashley. We're going to bang it out. Trav's going to go home tonight. Everyone says Travis. Bree's going home tomorrow. There goes Bree. At 6, let's take Eric out because he's going to win his way to the end of this game. At that point, then Kat, who I thought had the idol at the time, is going to go at 5 because there's no more idol. And then it's the 4 of us. And truthfully, I did tell Jester I don't want to sit next to you at the end because I thought your social abilities were going to beat some of ours. What I find funny in all this is, you know what? Jester didn't throw your name to me on my vote, but at the same point, I really wasn't going to backstab Ashley. At the final, what the hell, the Alex vote, I told her, hey, I can hold your stuff because the extra vote, she had to give up her vote that round. So I said, I'll give up my vote. Like, do you want me to hold stuff? Like, I'll hold stuff for you. Like, and I meant it genuinely because I'm like, okay, the 4 of us are going to go to the end. Ashley then turned that into, oh my gosh, we can't trust Peter. And that led to your demise later that night.
Like,
So
I'm not.
I didn't backstab you, Cyrus. I didn't know your name is out there.
Okay. Well, it just seemed that Jester, you had your hand in like a lot of people's cookie jars, and it just seemed like it really did just did you more harm than it did good. And even though like you tried to make it paint it in a way that makes sense, you got yourself in some loopholes and contradictions that really just kind of like really didn't appear to what you're trying to project. And I'm just not really too thrilled about that. So I'm gonna have a hard time voting for you tonight, Jester, and as I am for like Ashley and Peter, so my vote is anything but solid tonight. So I got nothing further. Fight it out. Good luck.
Thanks, Cyrus.
Okay, Megs, if you can hear me, I know you messed your confessional. Can you hear me? Do you mind turning off your camera? Okay. She's having trouble sounds. I don't know if she can hear me, but oh, she's typing. Okay. Okay, cool. She's doing it. Where is my list? Sorry, y'all. All right. With that being said, next up we have one of our lovely rock victims. Give it up for Brienne. Come show your beautiful face. There she is.
Hey guys.
Hi, Brienne.
So I want to start off with congratulating all 3 of you tonight. You made it to final 3 and that's really awesome. Whatever happens, that's a big commitment and a big opportunity for you guys. I also want to thank production and all the players for making this season, my first game, very memorable and exciting and dramatic. I have a question for each of you, and I think I'm going to start with Peter just because we started with Jester and Ashley already. So my question for you, Peter, is what game move did you make solely yourself that got you to the end?
I'll be honest with you, I didn't have a game move that I made solely myself, only for the true fact of this game, the people who are out in charge often went out the door quick. Jester's name by the time you hit merge was considered messy. Travis was considered the vote every other round. Alex was considered someone who got upset and like angry when things didn't go his way. He went out the next round. And so truthfully, I didn't try to make a big move myself because I didn't want my name to be the one out there.
Okay. And congratulations to you as well. And then Ashley, my question for you is, what was your biggest strength in this game that got you to final tribal?
I think my biggest strength would be a tie between my strategic game. I think I'm very strategic. I'm very good at like sorting my way through things in my head. But I feel like even better, like even like more important would be the strong relationships I had with my closest allies. Like you were a victim of rocks, and that was terrible and sad, and like that was awful. I hope we can play together, and I wish we would have had more time to play this game because like when the little we got, I'm like that sweet girl, like. I'm sorry your game
Thank
ended
you.
like that. I hope you had a good time.
I did, and I not knowing what rocks was from
That's what
the get go,
when
and
you
then
said that, I was like, oh,
but it's a lot of people said it's an iconic way to go out. And I'm like, well,
yeah,
that's only
it's
been done
epic.
like
And
two
it's
times, so
respectful. It's respectful, you know what I mean?
yeah. And I
Like,
enjoyed
had you
playing
not
with
done that,
everybody.
I wouldn't be here. So I mean, thank you to you too, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
And congratulations to you.
thank you.
And then Gesture, I did want to say one thing to you. Your video definitely showed me that it seemed like your lies were hard to keep straight. But my question to you is, how do you think voting out one of your original Plat 4-person alliance members benefited your game?
So, voting, I didn't vote for Cyrus for the first time. Voting Alex out, it benefits my game because people, keep targeting me. And it was like when the moment you get out, my name got really dropped to the bottom. Like, okay, no one's almost targeting me. Maybe because of the idol that I've been trying to like tell everyone, oh, I have the idol. So maybe people are scared of,
Mhm.
trying to vote for me and everything like that. So that just gives me in a way. But also voting out a Plat member, it's benefited me because I was, people are targeting each other now. So like my name literally like slide down a little bit, not really threatable, I would say. So that's why I think voting out a Plat member would, keep me like less threatened than usually.
What's up, Peter?
Ashley, your camera turned around so we see your hand. I just want to give you a heads up.
And congratulations as well, Gesture.
Thank you, Brienne.
You're welcome. And that was all I had, guys.
Brienne,
Thanks,
you're a
Brian.
trooper, man.
Thank you.
I love playing with you, Brienne, really. I had fun.
I really enjoyed playing with all of you guys. I had a good game, so.
Don't expect it to be that wild next time. I've never seen rock twice.
All right. Yeah, let alone rocks once is crazy. So let's are y'all ready for some spice? I think we can use some spice here. Travis, come on. You're the next contestant.
Hello, good evening, friends and foes. I see more enemies than oh, I said enemies and foes, meant enemies and friends. I see more enemies here than I do friends. Um, who do I want to start with? Jester, is there one thing this season? Can you just tell me one thing this season that wasn't a lie? One time where you told the truth. I know you have to dig pretty deep, but if you could pull one out.
What time?
Deeper, you gotta dig deeper, Jester.
The one time that I said that I'm voting Alex out, that's the one time I was not lying. And at the idol part, I didn't lie
Wow.
about that too. So I had an idol the whole time, so that was true. But in terms of the gameplay, of course, I have to, I lie a lot because I feel like people like always target me like really early in the season. So I was like, you know what? I'm trying to change my game to like be a bitch, and I think I did that. So, but yeah,
Um,
that's true.
okay. And then last thing, Jester, I know you made the end, but do you really think that honestly that you played a win-worthy game? Because you lied a lot and you terrorized a lot of people, and I almost want to compare your game this season to like Chaos Cast, because everywhere you had Jester, there was always chaos, and it didn't all the time mesh very well.
Travis, I love you because you clearly read it. I was doing the chaos guys in this game, but just think about, yes, it's a win-worthy game. Why? My vote does matter. Out of all the votes, my vote was the important one. I make the decision almost every single tribal. On the final 7, you guys have the votes, but when Bree doesn't have a vote, I stick with Eric and Peter. On 5, I still voted for Ashley, knowing I have to tie the two of you and Peter and decide. So my vote was a matter every single tribal, and I hope you guys know that because my vote does decide who goes on every single tribal except for the rock draw. There you go.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have for you, Jester. On to Peter.
Howdy.
Peter, so I don't know if you're aware of this or not, and I'm not the only one here that thinks this way, but are you aware that a lot of people think that you and Jester were dog walked by Eric this whole game, and you guys did whatever he said when he asked?
I would definitely
Do you
say
think
down.
that's true or not? And
Sorry, go ahead.
do you think it's true or not, and why?
I would say yes. And truthfully, this came out when Ashley the other day said I was considering voting Jester out over Eric. Is I did think if Eric got to the end, he would win. And I wanted Eric to kind of be that shield of, hey, look, I'm going to win the immunities. My voice is going to be the one to push. And I'm like, great. Because you know what happens to that person by the end? The moment they lose, they're out. So I said, sure, you want to lead it? Go ahead. Jester want to take the heat from everybody for being messy? Go ahead. I'll be behind you two. And I'm going to go to the end and say, here's how I had my vote. And truth of the matter is, my name was the popular one going down the stretch. I admitted in my opening statement, at Final 7, I'm a dead man walking. When Eric won immunity, I said, hey, look, I'm going home tonight. If they're smart, they're not voting Jester. It'll be me. They have 4, we have 3. So at that point, my game should have been done. Still didn't know that Bree had lost a vote. I didn't know we'd go to rocks. So at that point, I would say yes. Like, I do understand and believe people probably thought Eric led, and I honestly didn't mind him leading.
Okay, thank you. And then on to Ashley.
Hey, bitch.
Love you.
Oh, don't say the B word.
Oh yeah. Woo! No, canceled. You're canceled. You're canceled, Ashley. I don't really. What am I supposed to ask you? Because we played this entire game together, so I feel like, and you were pretty honest and upfront.
I
So I feel like I don't
was
really know.
transparent.
I don't know. What do I ask you, Ashley?
Did we have fun drinking out of penises together on the same night?
Yeah, we did. That's true. I'll ask you, what are you drinking? That'll be my question. What are you drinking?
It is pink Moscato.
Pink Moscato. Okay, and then to conclude this, let's do cheers.
Cheers. Love you, bud.
Cheers. Okay, I'm done here. Good luck, guys.
Thanks, Travis.
All right. Next up, we have our second rock victim, the one I must say made such a heroic move and fell on her sword for her allies. We have the beautiful, the wonderful Cat. Go ahead and come on camera.
So beautiful and so wonderful.
Hi. Um, well, first of all, I want to say congratulations to the three of you for getting here. You did what the rest of us couldn't do. So way to go. I guess my question is for the same thing for all of you guys. I want you to tell me one thing about the other two players that you admire about their game, and then one thing about your own game that you would have done differently if you could change it. I'm gonna start with Pete.
So one thing I admire about Ashley's game is her ability to be social and almost use it as manipulation. On your vote, I basically went to Ashley and Ashley's like, please make me the vote. And I said, I don't want to make you the vote. I want to move forward to final five with you. I knew Jester didn't have the idol, and the odds were either you had the idol or Eric had the idol. And I said, there's no way Travis and Kat, if Eric pulls out an idol, are going to be willing to go to Rocks for you because they're taking a guaranteed safety down numbers at 5 to then have a 1 in a 50% chance to go home. And shockingly, you guys did. And I sat here, I'm like, how did you manage to convince them to save you? Like that to me is incredible social gameplay because you got two people who had no reason to go to Rocks for you, go to Rocks for you. Because truth of the matter is, and from my game point, had we gotten to 5 and Ashley's out, I'm probably looking to talk to you and Travis at that point and say, hey, Jess is the seasoned villain, Eric's the golden boy. Let's get those two out. I now have two people that are probably on the jury for me. And I have two people I don't mind sitting next to at the end, and Travis and you. Jester's game, I give him major cojones for giving me the idol when he did, because that put a target on his back while his name was out there. I probably wouldn't have done the same in that situation. And then you said, what was one thing about my game I wish I could have done differently? So for my game, I think the one area that I wish I could have changed would have been talking more. There's a lot of the jury that I'll just be straight up. I didn't talk much to Travis. I didn't talk much to Bree. I didn't talk much to you. I left a lot of gaps in my game to where sitting here tonight, there's more people I'm sitting here saying I should have had more conversation. I tend to be a player who the more I talk, the messier I get. And so I don't talk as much. And that's something I wish I could change in my game that hopefully moving forward I will.
Okay, thank you. Go
Can I
ahead,
make a quick
Ashley.
statement? Yeah, just a quick thought. When Peter said, "How did you talk them into doing that for you?" There was no talking it into. Like, that's how tight we are. That's how tight we were, and I would have done the same thing for one of them. So that's awesome.
Okay, you can go ahead now.
Oh, you,
If
it's
you
my
want
turn.
to answer the question. Yeah.
I like the fact that Jester's game, like he literally like dangled that idol every single tribal. I'm playing it. I'm playing it. I'm playing it. We all knew he wasn't playing it, but we never put his fucking name down. That's what I love about Jester's game. Peter's game, I just think Peter is a very I feel like Peter, I feel like you did play a like kind of sheep role, and I don't like that for you because I think you're a very good player. I think you're very smart. I think you're strategic, and I think you've got so much good player, and you come like own yourself. You know what I mean? Next game, I hope you do. As far as my game goes, I definitely could have talked to more people, and I wish I wouldn't have used my idol wrong because then we could be seeing a whole different final three right now.
Very
I could have
good.
saved you.
Okay, and go ahead, Jester.
I start with Peter. I admire Peter's game. He's very, I would say he's loyal to me. His loyalty is something. So if you're loyal to him, he would be like straight up work with you. He would tell you information. He would tell you pretty much almost everything. That's why I had that information in keeping myself. I admire Ashley's game because her game and my game almost like really in sync. Like I love talking to Ashley strategize, and it's just like her mind is so like smart, and not a lot of people think about how smart she is. That's how I admire her game. Um, the I would the the game that would be different would be I was lying, maybe lying too much, maybe putting some chaos too much. But if I do have like almost the same strategy, just a little bit of like less lying and less chaos, then I probably done that. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you guys so much. I wish you all the best. Good luck. Again, congratulations to all three of you for getting here.
Love you,
Thanks,
girl.
Kat.
All right. And that leaves us with last, but certainly not least, the Australian Queen, the fairy bread queen, Megs. Can you hear me? Come on,
I
camera.
can,
There
yeah.
she is. There's her.
Okay, so I'll start by saying that obviously you guys know that I'm new to Radical completely. This was my first season playing, and I was also the first juror, which was unfortunate in my first season. But I didn't get a chance to talk to a lot of you guys. Cyrus and Peter were the main ones, but I do want to start with Jester. Obviously, Jester, throughout this game, you lied a lot. There was a lot of chaos that surrounded your game, and there were a lot of relationships destroyed by that. So my question is, because a lot of the relationships you built or had with people were destroyed with the jury, why do you think that the jury should vote for you to win tonight, despite how you've played your game?
The jury vote. The jury should vote for me because from the get-go, I played the hardest fuck. I make sure that I have the connections, the social bonds that I have with people, even though like some of them I've destroyed. I didn't destroy Cyrus' game at all. I didn't know his name was out there. So I hope he forgives me or somewhere that if I push him. But if I do destroy and I piss you off the game because I am playing the best I can. I want to change the narrative of Jester being such a oh, he's nice, blah, blah, blah. But like, I really want to play this. I came in with such a chaos and a messy gameplay. I want that. And I want to have fun. And I did that. And again, I said on the Travis jury speech, my vote matters every single tribal. And that's how I made it in the game. I make sure on the final four, I'm going to the final three, regardless of what's happened. And that happens. So that's why I think I deserve the jury vote and I deserve to win.
I
Sorry
didn't
if,
pick you because of your social game. I picked you because Eric had way more on his resume. I just want to clarify that.
but still, a lot of people are going to put me on a final three seat and make a speech with you guys. And I'm here.
Okay, so I do have another question for you, Jester, regarding the speech that you made. I think it was something that was picked up by the jury. You mentioned about a couple of people you'd worked with closely being your number one, and a couple of different names were dropped during that speech, obviously. And I was just wondering if you could explain to us how you had multiple different number ones and who was your actual number one throughout this game.
Okay, of course I have a different of course I have like multiple ones, but from what I consider as my number one is Cyrus because I was bringing him to the end no matter what, and that's legit. And then when Cyrus gone, my 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 other one is Peter because I stuck with Peter this whole time after Cyrus gone. So yeah.
Yep. Thank you. My next question is for Ashley.
Hey, Meg.
Hi. I obviously you played a really good game this season. I admire not only just as far as like challenges, but just your social game. What do you feel has been the most risky move that you've made that has paid off?
Honestly, like probably going for Peter because I feel like even though it didn't work, it put me on the bottom. Like after that tribal, Travis was pissed at me. I had just betrayed Peter. He had Jester and Eric with him, and it was me and Kat. You know what I mean? So I went from a decent spot to rock bottom and then back up to top 3. So I feel like that's something that I could say would be respectable.
Yeah. Okay. I'll just having a quick look at what I had written down. One more question. So obviously you had a very strong social game, and how did you feel your social game and the rapport you built with others, how do you feel that maintained your final relationships as you got to where you are now?
Can you repeat that one more time?
So obviously you played a strong social game, you build a lot of rapport and trust within certain people. And my question was, how do you feel that has affected you getting where you are?
Everything. I mean, we went to Rocks twice for our group. That's how solid we were.
Yeah.
I hate that Brienne and Kat are victims to that, but that's the god honest truth. If I win tonight, it's because I had Cyrus that went out, I had Kat that went out, I had Brienne that went out. It wasn't just me being a badass and making my way to the top. I had a in Travis, like we had a group. You know, it takes a village, and I had one.
Yep. So I'll move on to Peter now. Peter, obviously you were pretty much the first person that I spoke with in this game. You were the person that I spoke with the most. What do you feel has been the biggest how do I explain that? Sorry. What do you feel has been the biggest challenge for you? Obviously, you're working within reason closely with Jester. What was the biggest challenge for you as far as overcoming the chaos that went with that?
I mean, I think from my standpoint, I realized once the final 8 vote happened, the read that I thought I had socially with people wasn't what it was. And even just in the moment saying, hey, look, I think you're going home at 8. Like, I may have to give you my idol. I'm like, what are you talking about? I have Ashley. We have Eric. Like, it's Travis tonight. And it was up to 5 minutes beforehand that it took Jester being like, here's my idol. I'm sending you the idol. Play it tonight. For me to realize, hey, look, I don't have Ashley. I don't have Cyrus. And evidently I didn't have Kat. And so I think that was my biggest point. And then from that point, then getting to 7 and saying, well, if I don't win, I'm probably host tonight.
Yep. My last question for you is, if you could go back and change one decision you made in the game, what would it be and why?
If I could go back and change one decision at this point, it's probably sending Ashley out at 5 over Travis and talking to Jess and Eric and pushing her name. The thought originally was between Travis and Ashley of who do we think could beat Eric in the end. And we honestly thought Travis would be the bigger competition threat than Ashley. And truthfully, at that time, that was me not recognizing her social game. And I wish if we could go back and do it, that we would send Ashley out at 5 with that.
Yep. So I only had one thing left for the final 3. I've just asked you, Peter, that if I could get, I'll go with Jester first. If I could get you to also answer that question, then that would be awesome.
What was that again?
So if I could get you to answer the same question, Peter, I'll ask it again. As far as I'll say, what's your biggest challenge? Obviously, there were a few things for you, so we've talked about that, and obviously we've talked about the fact that you've said that you told a fair few lies during that gameplay and that you'd probably change that. But speaking of decisions, if you could go back and change one particular decision that you made at any point in the game, what would that be and why? I got there.
If time travels around, if I could just keep my idol and Peter got home, if I didn't know Cyrus was gonna go home that night, I would. If I knew Cyrus would go home that night, I wouldn't play my idol to Peter because Cyrus was my number 1. That's what I would
Yep.
check if I knew.
Yep. And just Ashley, if I could get you to answer that same question, please.
Yeah, so I answered earlier for the idol, but just to go like
Yeah,
another
okay,
step
yeah.
deeper, I'll give you a different one. Honestly, it would probably be trusting Jester. I feel like I
Yeah.
gave Jester way too much credit, and I put like hope into him, like, oh, maybe he actually like I was like a pick me girl, like I think he's actually like gonna work with me. Like that's so stupid. Um,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have trusted Jester. I think Jester caused the wedge between me and Peter. Jester was the downfall of all these players. I would have just steered clear and been kind from a distance.
Yep. No, I think that's all I had. Thanks, guys.
All right. Thank you, Mates. Thank you,
Thanks.
Jerry. Oh, good. Good, Peter. You're good.
I just said thanks.
Okay. We are now all going into our closing statements. So yeah, if y'all could just come on camera when it's your turn. Or y'all could stay on camera. Up to y'all. I don't know what you want to do. But let me pull it up. We are going with Jester first. You will have like 5 minutes. Is that good for y'all?
Yes.
Whenever you're ready.
Okay. Again, thank you productions and thank you for the jury. I'm just gonna keep it straight because we've been asking all questions pretty much all night. So as what I said, I played my hard as fuck in this game from the get-go. I know I make social bonds and connection, even though I have to betray a lot of you guys and pretty much piss a lot of you guys. Just think of it, I play the game. I play the game and play as much as I can because I really want to win the game. And as what I said also on the questioning, my vote matters every single tribal. And that's pretty much how I wanted it to be. That's pretty much how I wanted to be as the player I can be because I want to win this game. And that's pretty much it. See you all.
All right. Yeah, Peter, you're here. Thank you. All right. Go ahead, Peter. You will have 5 minutes. When you start talking.
I said I don't have much for a closing speech. Obviously, thank you all for your questions tonight. One thing I want to point out is throughout the questions, it's been seen that I kind of sat back and let other people do things, and that's true. I sat tonight. I'm sitting between two hurricanes. We have Hurricane Jester coming through with his lies that take out Alex, causes confusion, paranoia. You have Hurricane Ashley. She came through because she was paranoid over one conversation that led to Cyrus going home. She got people to willingly go to rocks for her just so she could stay in the game longer. That's why two of you are there. And when it came to 5, she wanted Travis gone too. So I sit here and say, look, I may not have caused destruction, but truth of the matter is, if I didn't cause destruction and they all did, who's the better player? The people who sent everybody else home, or the person sitting here saying, I didn't do it, it's not my fault, but I don't have a big resume to show for it. Thanks, guys.
All right, Ashley closes out.
Again, thank you guys for your time. It was fun playing with all of you guys, and may the best player win. I will say that when Jester says I played the game, I played hard. So did I, and I did that without backstabbing, lying, and deceiving you guys. When Peter says whatever Peter says about Travis, we all know that's not true. Kat and Travis are my go-to people. I just want to remind you that I did make it from the bottom back to the top without being deceitful. Like, even when Travis went home, Jester gave him like a false hope of I might keep you in. Like, why? Like, what is the point? I didn't do that to people. I feel like I played a really good game, and I think I put my all in heart into it. And thank you again.
All right. I will say, Peter, come back here. You 3 can breathe. The hard part is over. It is now in the hands of the jury. Jury, I'm gonna give you roughly 30 minutes, if that's okay. I'm a little ahead of schedule, I thought. I do have to get a hold of Eric too, but just for one thing, but he's good. But yeah, he will be back Facebook in a little bit for the reading of the votes.